Yo, what's going on, party people? Happy New Year. It is officially 2021, and you can see we've got a new addition to the family. That's what I'm talking about today, people. We're talking about none other than the acclaimed Rode PodMic. Listen, I'm going to tell you what the best mic is that you need to buy in 2021, whether you're live streaming, podcasting, or simply for whatever type of content creation you're doing. I know I've always talked about the Q2U, and guess what? I still got it here. It hasn't gone anywhere. But we're going to put these babies head to head. I'm also going to bring in some other challenges that I'm pretty sure most of you have. And I'm going to tell you what you should spend your money on in 2021. Let's get into it. What's good, party people? My name is Walter Jennette, founder and creative director of Create, Inspire, and Solve. And on this channel, you can expect to find inspiration and solutions that are going to help you build a better brand, that is going to help you grow your business, and it's going to help you create a community around the things that you're passionate about. So again, if this is your first time watching, thanks for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, go ahead and click that bell so you can be notified every single time we post new content to the channel. But let's get into today's video. So for those of you that have been following the channel for a little while now, or you following me on social media, you know that I've loved and always talked about the Samson Q2U. Look, I got to give shout out to Diana Glagney and the Entre Woman TV fam. I think I said that right, Entre Woman TV. But she was the one that actually put me on the Samson Q2U many moons ago. And when I bought this mic, it officially changed my life. And this has been such a rough rider. I actually have 5 of these. I produce some other podcasts, and I needed a reliable solution that was built like a tank, that I could throw around, that I could travel with, or that I could use in the home. And I've used this, like right now I'm recording this video in the Ecamm Live, so I use it for live streaming. I've used this to record podcasts on the computer, to record a podcast on the Rodecaster Pro, to record podcasts on my phone, to shoot videos on the phone, on the iPad. I've done a lot with this, and I love the Samson Q2U. Number one, because it's a USB microphone and it's an XLR microphone. So I love actually picking up gear that serves multiple purposes. And then I just love the sound quality that I get out of this straight out of the box. I love the bass range and the bass frequency that I get out of this. A lot of people compare this to the Audio-Technica ATR 2100. RIP, they don't make it anymore, so they actually make the 2100X. But in my opinion, for my voice, because it's a little bit more on the lower end, and I still like some of that clarity, this gives me the best value, and I say it is simply the best bang for your buck. Okay, well, if that's the case and you feel that strongly about the Samson Q2U, then why are you recording on a Rode PodMic? Listen, I want it to be cute. Simply enough, I've gone back and forth about whether or not I should get this microphone, and it's been out for a while now. There are 1,000 other videos you can go on YouTube and actually see, very in-depth reviews, tutorials, technical specifications about the mic. If you follow my channel, I actually don't do a lot of product reviews, and even when I am reviewing something, if you're looking for specs, if you're looking for in-depth things, I'm not the channel for that. Really, you might want to go somewhere like Podcast Stage. I'll drop that information down in the bio as far as, if you really, or the Enthusiasm Project. That's another channel where they go exclusively in detail about the specifications and the features of the mic. That's really not my thing, because I love buying what works for me, and I encourage all kind of people, buy what works for you. And so again, the Q2U has been absolutely a beast, and I'm still going to continue to use it. But one of the things I notice is that, I'm always taking this with me. I've always keep one in my bag. And so I'm more so building up, more so of a studio space now to where I can just keep things here at home. One of the reasons I'm recording an Ecamm, I never really do, but just an all-in-one function where I can sit down at my desk, record a video like I'm doing right now, and not have to worry about, taking out gear, unloading this, packing this up. And the Q2U has really been a big deal for me in doing that on the go. It's really my on-the-go microphone. I have it with me at all times. And so I wanted to pick up the PodMic, number one, because I love the way it looks, because I'm a fan of Rode. Rode did not send me this, but hey, Rode, if you would love to send me anything in the future, I will gladly accept it and do a very thorough, in-depth review for you. But no, I bought this with my own money. So number one, I'm a fan of Rode. I have the Rodecaster Pro. I've got an NTG2 video mic NTG, and we've got the Rode Link wireless filmmaker kit. So yeah, I'm pretty much Rode certified. I love their products. That's number one. Number two, I love the look. I just, I was going for a different aesthetic as far as 2021 with my live streams and videos and YouTube content that I'm going to be producing. And so I felt that, this was the way I wanted to go. Especially it's $99 for a $99 mic, and you're listening to it right now. I haven't done anything to it. I'm recording this into the Rodecaster Pro, and Rodecaster Pro actually has a preset for the PodMic. And so literally that's what I've done. I have this up I have the fader probably about halfway, and it looks like right now I'm hitting about negative 27, negative 30, negative 27 dB. It'll probably sound a lot louder than that because I'll probably boost it, for the purposes of watching the video. But normally I process my audio. So anytime you see a video that I've made or you listen to anything I do, I process it. I'm actually not going to process this because one of the things I find that people do is, number one, they buy something for aesthetic, or number two, they buy something based on how it sounds for another person. But then when they actually get the microphone, it doesn't sound like that for them. So what you're hearing right now is the audio that has not been processed. The only thing I've done is boosted the gain a little bit just to make sure that you can hear me loudly and clearly, but I have not done any of the regular processing that I've done. All right. So number one, Rode, they make a great product. This thing is heavy. Like when I say it's heavy, it doesn't look that big, but it is a lot heavier than the Samson Q2U. Number two, aesthetic. It's a cool looking mic. And as you can see, most people now, they have the Rode WS2 pop screen filter that actually goes on this. Because this is supposed to have a built-in pop filter that helps with your plosives. And so you let me know how that sounds as far as with my P's and everything like that. I'm probably about a whole hand length away from the mic, and they really recommend that you actually probably be closer, about 3. But I feel like you're going to hear the plosives a lot more if I get that close, even though you're going to get a much richer sound. But I usually, I'm usually probably going to sit right here for when I talk. But yeah, I decided to not put the windscreen on because, again, I want you to hear what this sounds like without any modification. So one, we talked about Rode. Number two, we talked about aesthetic. Number three, just sound quality, as far as what it sounds like. I love the clarity. I really, really, really love the clarity that you get outside of this mic. A lot of people have been comparing this mic to the Shure SM7B. And the thing is, there's really not a comparison. I think the Shure SM7B is a great mic. It is in the Radio Hall of Fame. Like anybody that is famous uses that mic. In my opinion, though, it's too heavy on the bass. It's too muddy. In the mids and the bass, I don't like it. Now, I can EQ this to sound like the Shure SM7B, or I think the Shure SM7V is what they just came out with. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right, but I really don't want to. I love the clarity that I get from Rode's products. I love the clarity that I actually get from the Samson Q2U. And in my opinion, I think the Rode PodMic has a little bit more clarity than this Samson Q2U. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to switch mics. All right, and I'm going to go to the Samson Q2U so you can actually hear what this sounds like. All right, so now you're listening to me talk into the Samson Q2U. There's something about the mid, it's something in that mid range and the presence, and you can see, you hear that plosive actually comes out a little bit more. I believe for me specifically, there's a little more on the bass range, which is why I love the Samson Q2U, because I think it fits my voice better. But there's a little more on the plosive side when I'm actually using the Q2U. And again, I have both of the gains set to about 35 on the Rodecaster Pro, and they're both set at the same level on the fader. And so, yeah, this is what you're hearing, what the Q2U sounds like. Now, there's a little edge on it. There's an edge on the Q2U that I normally don't like hearing when I'm listening to myself, because I always wear headphones when I record. When I listen back to the audio after I process it, it sounds fine. And I'm usually playing music underneath it anyway, so 9 times out of 10, you actually don't notice. But again, I'm not going to play any music right here. I'm actually going to leave this. I normally use the windscreen, the pop filter. I don't have that because I want you to hear naturally what it sounds like. I normally process my audio. I'm not going to process it because I want you to hear what it sounds like. Because I want you to determine what's going to be the best value that you can actually buy in 2021. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, the Samsung Q2U is still the best microphone that you can buy in 2021. And the reason I'm going to say that is because of its duality. It not only has the XLR, which I'm using now, but it also has the USB microphone. The PodMic, while I love it, it is a XLR microphone. So you are forced to use this with some type of audio interface, whether that be the Rodecaster Pro like I'm using, or something like the Scarlett Focusrite or the Scarlett 2i, or something from Behringer or whatever. But with this, you can get into the content creation game by simply plugging this up directly into the computer. Or if you actually have an adapter available, the USB 3 camera adapter kit that I show y'all that I use all the time, you can plug it straight into a phone, or you can plug it straight into your iPad or tablet, and you can start creating some content, some meaningful, great content on the go. And so that's one of the reasons that I really, really love the Q2U, and I think it is going to be the best bang for buck. Now, if you're like me and you're sitting more in a studio type space or a home office space, and you're not necessarily going to be on the go, and your Procaster, your Rode Podcaster, what in the world is the name of this? Your Rodecaster Pro, too many roads. Your Rodecaster Pro is going to sit here. You're not going to move anything. I think that the PodMic for $99 or $100 basically, I think that's going to be the best value, and you actually cannot beat that. So again, it kind of depends on your situation. If you're on the go and you're moving about, I think the Samsung Q2U is going to be the best thing for you, especially if you're starting on a budget. But if you're more kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? If you're good in the game, as far as your setup, office setup, whatever it is you're doing, then I think the PodMic is actually going to be the best value to go with. Now, I do want to introduce some other contenders, because shout out to Doc Rock, shout out to Diana Gladney. Again, I'm going to drop their information in the channel below. But we were on a live stream with Diana Gladney, and I'm glad you are the ones that actually prompted this video today. So shout out to you and the Get Live VIP group. They said that the Yeti was absolutely trash, the Blue Yeti. And I'm going to have to agree, and I'm glad Doc cleared this up later. The Yeti that was produced after Logitech got their hands on it, absolutely trash. And I would never recommend anybody get the Snowball, even though it was the first microphone that I got. But I got a couple of OG Yetis. I actually have two when they first came out with the Blackout Edition, and this is the USB version. But the one thing that I think people don't understand is that the Yetis are condenser microphones. And so if you're not in a treated space, if there's a lot of background noise that is going on around you, then it's not really going to sound good, okay? You're going to get a lot of that interference, and it's really going to mess with what you're doing. But if you're in a space kind of like I am now, where it's a little more treated, where you don't have sound bouncing all over the place, and maybe depending on what you do, like one time I recorded a video in Starbucks and I wanted all of that noise. I wanted all of that noise in the background. But if that's not what you're going for, then I would say stay away from the Yeti. But condenser mics have a very rich sound, and it doesn't take a whole lot of volume from your voice to actually get sound out. When you're working with dynamic microphones like the PodMic and the Samsung Q2U or the Audio-Technica ATR 2100 or the Shure SM58 or the Beta, 58A, those, while they don't take a lot of you actually have to talk. There has to be presence. A condenser mic, you can actually just literally go up to and whisper a prayer and it's going to project. So I'm actually going to let you hear what the Blue Yeti, but this is the Blackout Edition, situation, but the Blue Yeti actually sounds like, and let me know what you think about that, because a lot of you have this mic. I've seen a lot of people with this mic. I've also seen a lot of people use this mic wrong, and they try to point it to them like this PodMic I have right here. That is not the way you're talking to that microphone. So I'm going to show you that in a second. All right. So now you actually are listening to me talk on the Blue Yeti. Now there's something I want you to pay attention to. Number one, I want you to notice how I'm talking into it. I'm talking in front of the capsule, okay? The mic is not supposed to be pointed at me like this. It's supposed to sit straight up, and I'm actually not using the desktop stand that comes with it because it's pretty cheap. Once the screws get stripped out, it's no good. So I have this sitting on another desk, mic desktop stand or whatever. But usually you will see it lean a little bit forward or a little bit back, depending on, what's going to be ergonomically comfortable for you. But one thing you notice, on the back of the mic, you see the gain and you see the polar pickup patterns. The way you know, number one, that you're using this mic correctly is that the blue logo, the mute button, and the headphone volume button should be pointing at you. Okay, that's number one. Number two, on the back, I want you to notice the polar pickup pattern that I'm using. I'm using the one that's specific to my voice, because you can use stereo, you can use omnidirectional, you can use stereo, which is left and right, omnidirectional, which is going to be everything. Let's say you're at a table and you have multiple people talking, you want to pick up all the volume, you can do that. You can use the polar pickup pattern that I'm using that allows you to just pick up everything that's coming front, and there's going to be more rejection from the back, so it's going to pick up everything front. Or if it's two people, I think bidirectional. So if I'm recording with somebody else, we're sitting across from each other, you can hear my voice here, and you'll be able to hear who's ever talking behind me. All right. So people buy mics and they don't understand. They don't do their research. And it was like, well, mine doesn't sound like yours, or I have too much noise going on in the background of actually what's happening. And one of the other things that I want you to notice is that my gain is all the way down, and it's still peaking right now. So this is probably going to be stupid loud when I look at this video file. Hopefully it's not distorted or anything, but I'm in the red. I'm in the red, and I'm not talking any louder than I was on the Samsung Q2U or talking on the PodMic, and my gain is all the way down. So normally the way I would actually use this is if I'm recording into Audition or like Ecamm right now, I should have just turned the volume down, so it's not clipping and it's not distorting. Now, again, I'm hoping that I don't have to re-record this part and that it sounds the way it's supposed to. But I want you to hear what it sounds like as I begin to turn the actual gain up, okay? I want you to understand why I say, Now that's it. When I turn that up, that's the noise that's going on in my space right now. So that can be the air conditioner. That's not even the air conditioner because that's off. The heat is off. So that's noise that's coming from lights, computer, fans, the refrigerator, just energy that's in the complete house. That's what you hear. That's why I don't really recommend condenser microphones unless you're in a well audio treated space, because it's going to pick up everything. Even with my gain all the way down, it's still going to pick it up. All right. And again, one thing I love about this is that it's a USB microphone. And so just like my Samsung Q2U, there are sometimes, I've done some Zooms, some things, some StreamYard, some Skype calls or whatever. I'll just throw this in my bag and I'll take it with me because I love the richness of the sound that I actually get from it. But if I'm going to be somewhere like Starbucks or something like that, if I'm not in a hotel or away on business, I'm probably not going to take this with me. But again, I'm limited because this is solely a USB microphone. They make an XLR version. It costs way too much money. It is not worth the price. But as far as the Yeti is concerned, Blue microphones, they're great. But the Yeti, totally different case. But again, that's a USB microphone, so I can only use it USB. The PodMic, that's an XLR microphone, so I can only use an XLR. The Samsung Q2U is XLR and USB, and that is why it is the best bang for buck. You're going to get the most value, and it is still the best microphone that you can purchase in 2021. All right, so you've heard what the Rode PodMic sounds like. Again, you're listening to it now. You heard what the Samsung Q2U sounded like, and you heard what the Blue Yeti sounded like. I was gonna throw the Snowball in there, but then I thought about it. If you have that mic, you need to throw that away. And if you're thinking about that mic, you need to slap yourself, because if you can afford the Snowball, then you can afford to get the Samsung Q2U. So please don't waste your money and get that Snowball. Just use it for decoration. I use it for a paperweight. I throw it up in the background. Sometimes just use it as part of a decoration to remind me where I got my start and where I came from. But again, listen, I hope that you found some value out of the video. I know normally when I'm doing like a product review tutorial, a little tour, it's, you know, it takes a little bit longer to get that information out. But again, I hope you are able to find value. I hope you're able to make a better informed decision about what audio that you want to purchase in 2021, and let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know what you think. What is it that you're purchasing? What is it that you're buying? If you've bought something, you can't figure out how to work it, if it's using right. No, I'm not a help desk. No, I'm not customer support, but we are a community, and I'll be glad to help you any way I can. But again, thanks for watching. If this is your first time, second time, third time, and you have not subscribed yet, number one, like the video or dislike it, and tell me why you disliked it. I want you to hit that subscribe button, and while you're hitting that subscribe button, click that bell notification so you can be informed every single time we post new content to the channel. Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys in the next video.